Hey, what's up? It's Ken from Flowtricks. I'm gonna make a quick video here. I'm out of town right now, so I just wanted to get something out for you guys so you can have some nunchuck stuff to practice. Don't forget, December month is martial arts month, so I'm gonna be doing some martial arts tactics and techniques. But first, I wanted to give you a very simple nunchuck technique. Now, this is more of a nunchuck combo, and we're gonna put it into phases. First, we're gonna start a beginner phase, and beginner phase is basically we're gonna hold it in front grip, close to the top of the rope. We're gonna bounce it off of our deltoids like so. And when our right hand gets to the right side, or if it's your left hand holding it left side, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an overhead spin over our head like this. Pretty simple, right? The moment it makes a revolution past your head and it starts to swing over, we're gonna swing it over to the other side. So up and down, up and down. Once we swing it over to the other side, here, up and down, we're just gonna reverse it. So here, we're gonna go back up and down the opposite way. So now what we should be able to do is get a full rotation with a bounce. Again, very simply, you wanna make sure that this almost looks like a line straight across. Like if you look in the camera, this picture draws a line across. That's kind of how straight you want it to be. Make sure it's not like angled sideways, or you can see like a circular motion like this, or your plane's gonna be wrong and you might hit your head. So here, create an over and back, and over and back. Now we're gonna level this up multiple times. The second level to this is gonna be to add a horizontal wrist roll. So as we spin it over the top of our head, we're gonna keep our hand held straight up like this. So as it goes over, we're gonna rotate it and try to keep that same straight line, but then my hand is gonna hold up and intercept it, and that's gonna cause a front to back hand roll, like so. The moment it hits that, we're gonna bounce it. We're gonna be in a back grip, and we're gonna bounce it off of our deltoid on the opposite arm, just like we did before. So now, instead of up and over, we're going hand roll over. The moment it bounces, we're gonna reverse it. So see if you can, now you may not be used to back grip, so see if you can just go over and through the top this direction too. But the thing is, you don't really have to go that much with it, so just practice it a little bit. What you're trying to do is trying to bounce, hand roll, and back. So now, we're doing one hand roll on each direction. I would consider that to be a little bit, we're starting to move out of basic territory only slightly, but it's only one hand roll right now. Here, here, here. Now we're gonna add a little bit more to it. We're gonna add 2 dimensions to it. So now, when I bounce it off of the same side, I'm gonna do a front to back hand roll at the top, and then as it comes over, instead of bouncing it, we're gonna take it underneath our elbow, and it's gonna create another circle down below. As it creates the circle, we're gonna do a back to front hand roll. So as you can see, the line that the nunchuck is making, I'm trying to open up my hand and get it in the way so it can roll into the other side of my hand. And that will look like this. So above, below, bounce. Now we gotta go the opposite way, so we can't go, we have to go in the reverse direction. So above, below, bounce. Below, above, bounce. Above, below, bounce, below, above, bounce. So now we have this really nice intermediate combo. This is definitely, we're into intermediate territory now. And again, it's gonna be the same thing. First get this point here. If you can't do that, just get one roll. Once you can do the above, you're gonna swing it down below, and you're gonna get your hand in the way, which will cause the hand roll to cause it to bounce. Now, there's some really cool things you can do. We're gonna move in a little bit more tricky now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go above and below, but when we bounce, we're gonna go straight to above. Now that requires a horizontal front to front hand roll, which looks like this. So just see if you can go above, below, bounce, and then we're gonna do a front to front. We're gonna go straight to above instead of starting at below. Because our grip needs to change, we're not able to do a back to front or front to back, the 2 basic ones. We actually have to jump and do a front to front. And it's gonna be kind of the same thing as a front to front vertically, except it's just horizontal. So essentially what we're trying to do, if you wanna get used to it, it's gonna be a little bit different because we're up above. You wanna make sure you're almost high-fiving the ceiling. You wanna be very flat, but you still have to have that turn, you know, for the front to front. You know how that hand turns like that, almost like you're screwing in something with your thumb. It's kind of the same thing, except for it's above your head. And just remember to keep your hand very flat. That's the most important thing. It needs a lot of side torque and then front. So it's like here, boom. If you do it slowly, it's a lot harder because it's gonna droop down and it might hit your head. But just see if you can do that. Above your head and catch. So now we have above, below, catch, above, catch. We're going to add one more thing, and it's just going to add a little bit more flair. I would consider this as being the more advanced territory, obviously. But we do the above and below, like we do. Basically a horizontal figure eight wrist roll. We're gonna do the bounce. This time, instead of holding it over our head, we're gonna swoop it in a circle over our head. So it's almost gonna isolate over our head, just very slightly while we do it. The way to practice this is, right now what we're doing is we're just kind of holding our hands still above our head. But in this time, it's almost like we're doing like a little lasso or a circle. So if you looked over my head, you'd see it goes behind, to the left, and front. This isolation will cause it to give it a very different feel, but it'll be a lot slower over your head. But it's very different. It has a different flavor than if we just went above and below. Sometimes I feel like if you do that, they don't even realize you're front to front. They didn't realize it's a more technical move than this one, which it's a very different move, but to most eyes, they can't see that. But if you add that little isolation to it, all of a sudden it does have a different flavor because you're pulling it around your head a little bit more. So again, all you're gonna think of is you're gonna think of making a loop here, and then out. So loop, loop, out. This one can go slower, it's okay, but the most important thing is it's really easy to lose your grip as you're spinning it around in a circle. You almost have to learn how to compensate for the way it drags, but I figure if you get to that point, you know, you're doing pretty good. So hopefully this helps, and yeah, I'll be making more videos soon. I'm just polishing up on a gig. I'm gonna be here all week, but send me a message if you want, and catch up with you all soon.